So what's good, boys? Alright, so we're gonna be making one of those like emotional, super hard hitting 𝘾𝙬𝙘𝙀 type beats. I got a pretty fire one I'm gonna break down. So yeah, let's just go and hop right into that.
TRIFREEZE got that bounce.
Alright, so let me just play the sample alone so y'all can kind of see what that sounds like. Alright, so the BPM you're going to want to be starting at is between like 95 and 110. So I like to sit at like 101 or like 105 is really good. I'm just going to sit at like 101 because you're going to want that super fast, hard hitting sound, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so the first thing we got in here are these chords right here. So these are all minor chords. Some of them are just inverted. So let me just delete this and like make it again so I can like show you guys progression I like to use a lot, you know? Pick any key. I like to work in C sharp. Alright, so the progression I like to use for these kind of beats, C sharp, G sharp, A, F sharp. You can pitch these two notes up, just leave this one down here. You can pitch this one down, pull this one up. It's the exact same progression. It's just pitched up and stuff. All right, so let me build my triads. All right, so now we have our progression right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna invert the middle of these two right here because it gives it like a really interesting style. And you can honestly just mix this up, move this over right here. You can extend this. Implement this progression right here. I love it. You can just invert all the chords. You can mess around with them, but your root notes really need to be in this progression right here. Paste this over, and then let me just push that last chord up. And what I'm gonna do is add like a... Alright, so now I'm going to add like some bass notes to make some thicker chords, just like that. Paste my original pattern back. Alright, so for the effects, I had an EQ to take out all the low end, and then an RC20, wow, and flutter preset. Alright, so the first piano sound came from Contact. It was just nor pure. It was just the emotional preset. Alright, so after we have the chords, pretty much just layered it with these two other sounds right here. This. And this. The first layer sound, this one right here, it just had the exact same thing, an EQ to take out the lows and a little bit of the highs, an RC20 with the same wow and flutter preset right here. That was from Hybrid Keys 2.0, see above the clouds preset. It was under Electrics above the clouds, and the second, the lows cut out of it, a Vinyl 3 preset. These are all my settings for that. It was also from Hybrid Keys. It was the horizontal. It's just under acoustics and then horizontal right here. All right, so after that, I added an arcade. Sounds like this. Alright, so all that accent had on it was just like an EQ. Basically, it's just like some reverse ambience, like an accent pretty much. Alright, I got this from the Aura expansion or whatever. This is the Afterlife. Alright, so after that, you know, I had to have the runs on top to just give it some more sauce. And then I just pasted this right over here because there's not really a reason to switch it up again. Alright, so I know it looks really complex. Here's how I go about runs. I'll play like the piano chords, right? You want to play it and you want to find like 3 or 4 notes that you just repeat through the whole thing to make it sound like bouncy and have like a vibe. So those notes were these right here. Paste it over so it's like a catchy little rhythm almost. But what I did right here is I just added this like that. Alright, so now that I have this catchy little run, I pretty much just go through and tick in like other notes, you know? I just started down here, I just went like this. So you see how all this is really repetitive? So it's like a really catchy piano run, you know what I'm saying? It's perfect for one of those like Heartbreak beats, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so the high piano just had an EQ to cut out all the lows, an RC20 just with the Vinyl 3 preset, but it just sounds so good, you know? And then an ambience. I use this reverb for vocals and a lot of stuff like that. I just turn the size all the way down and then the dry up and then the wet down a little bit. I had this reverse ambience in here. And that's just this reverse. I clicked on this button right here. That's disc rendering. I went to this drop down right here, disc recording, and then render to WAV file. And what this does is it'll render it out like this right here. And I just went inside of it and then clicked on reverse right here. So after that, I just had an arcade, some vocals. I pretty much just pasted this single pattern throughout the whole thing. Here, 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 and then I just pitched these notes up here. So I can pretty much just change it up a little bit. Those vocals were from Arcade also. They were the My Love, My Love. All right, so for these vocals, I did do a lot to the vocals. First of all, let me take everything off. I added an EQ. All right, and that basically took all the low end out. Then I added a little altar boy. I pitched it up 12, changed the format to about, I don't know, about 4, because I wanted like that unique sound. It has like a super robotic, unique sound that sounds really cool. I use an ambience on that. These are my settings. I put the size at like 55, the dry and wet about like that. After that, I had an RC20 just to kind of dull it down some because it was a little too bright. I had an EQ right about here to cut out a little bit of the highs and a lot of the lows. And then finally, I had an EQ, bring up some of the highs some more, and then take out some of the lows. All right, so some people might want to cut like more of the highs on it and put like a filter on it, but honestly, I like some of the highs to stay in my vocals, so I did not put a filter on this on purpose. Final thing I added was a synth bass. And I just pasted that over here. All right, so the bass came from a one-shot kit, Bass 1 in 𝕊𝕌𝔹𝕊𝘂 one-shot kit, the landscape synth bass, and it just follows the root notes. Alright, so let's go and move on to the drums now. Alright, so first of all, I have this clap. All these sounds you can find in my new drum kit, ATL Culture. I'll link it in the description. Clap pattern went like this. Just like that. I'll skip the third clap. I'll add 3 more. I'll skip the third clap right here. Just because I wanted it to have more like of a bounce, you know what I'm saying? Like a pause. The hi-hats here is what's really going to define this sound right here. All right, so first off, you can see I got a lot going on with the velocities down here. You're gonna wanna put your hi-hats in like this. And then you'll just go in here and mess with the velocity. And you'll basically just make like a drum bounce or whatever. All right, so the effects I had on the hi-hats, just an Effectrix, just to add like a reverse right here. I always set it to 1/8 right here, and then I just had a vinyl just to kind of stop it right there. Turn the mix level on the reverse to like 50%. After that, I had a reverb, I had a delay. This is just the ping pong delay, and then I just turned the wet down a little bit. All right, and then I added my secret weapon, which is pretty much a fresh air. It really like makes your mix sound so crispy. Just use it a tiny bit. All right, and then I just cut the lows out. And then I just pasted this pattern right here onto a shaker. Then I had a crash on that. And then I had these snares right here. And then I just pasted this over right here, and then I just left out the snare right here. All right, so one of the final things I had in here was this 808. If you want the hard-hitting crunch sound, you got to use the Clarity 808, man. And then I just pasted this over, and I just pitched the sound up. And then I added like a little roll right here. All right, so one of the last things I had in here, if you want that super nice crunch sound, you got to use this hat right here. And then I just pasted this pattern over here, and then I just had a riser. A lot of people have been asking me for arrangement. So what I do for arrangement, an intro, pre-hook, like a chorus right here, kind of a verse right here, 16 bars, pasted all of this over here. So I have a bridge, I have another pre-hook, and then like the chorus or the hook or whatever, and then I have the outro right here. All right, so for a tutorial on how to get like a super crunch sound like that, you can watch this video right here. It'll run over 4 different chains to get this exact sound right here. So yeah, that's how you can make those emotional, like super hard hitting, like J.I. type beats. Thanks so much for the support lately. It's been absolutely crazy. So yeah, till next time.